Derivatives trading involves substantial risk of loss and is not suitable for all investors. Past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results. Good morning, everybody. Well, okay, first of all, I got my headphones on backwards. We've got an interesting day going on here. Oh, what's the, I'm gonna have to fix some things because it looks like our chat is not showing up here. That might just be Restream. Wow. We'll see. But we can fix that later. Let's go over to the charts right away. Oh my gosh. So I updated OBS and I tested that all these things worked and they don't work. Man. Oh, there we go. Okay. It's all good. It's just loading stuff, I guess. I don't know. Anyways, so when we pull up the chart, yesterday FOMC, they were very, very upset at first, but then I guess Powell said QE, and that was a good enough reason to buy it, even though it's like, we may have to implement QA sooner than expected. And that was a reason to buy things. Okay, whatever, guys. But then now we've come right back out and we're pretty much where we were. You can see here in the 10-year, similar story. But we've been having some swings here in the 10-year. So it's a pretty turbulent overnight session. If I come over into here, I gotta check here for our news because it is a Thursday. We always get that unemployment claims, and we also get the Philly Fed Manufacturing Index, which tends. So that's essentially where we're at. I have a hard time determining where we will really go from here. I suppose that the bias has to be up, but who knows? We might get some good trading, though, because I'm sure there's going to be a lot of back and forth here. Anyways, yeah, so I'm running a little behind. I have some food to eat. I'm just, maybe I just need to move to top. No, I don't know. I don't know what's wrong with the chat, guys. We'll figure it out, though. So I'm going to try and figure out what's wrong with the chat, and I need to eat. I'm having, my stomach not feel very good. Technical difficulties today. So I'm going to do that, and we will trade the news in 10 minutes. Well, it's interesting that we're seeing the amount traded there at 18 that we are. So from the open, we came down good 4 ticks to 17.5 or so. So we turned. Now we're coming back up, and there's some absorption there.
YouTube, Winstanzamam, good morning, Seth. You may be in for a busy day which needs focus, not conversation centered on dance and politics. Enjoy your breakfast and keep on doing what you do so well. Fear not the FOMO, Seth.
Oh, thank you. Well, I don't know if I'm going to take... It's going to be a hard trade. I'm going to let them sort it out first. Like, I'm not going to try and take something off of this news, but let's see what the Philly Fed has in store for us, huh? Got about 50 seconds here. I'm still eating. Okay, so we got 12 versus 10.5. 12 versus an expected 10.5 on the Philly Fed. There's a little bit of selling. I don't know if it's going to come through or not. Hmm.
YouTube, Winstanzamom, sexy robot voice, please remind Seth to change the date on his live stream.
Nah, thank you. I didn't change it yesterday either. It was all screwed up. It's the 19th. There we go. Oh, it looks okay. They finally took 50.5 easily that time. I don't know. Kind of weird the way it's ticking, but it could still go through.
YouTube, Winstanzamom, New York Fed said it would conduct an overnight repurchasing operation for the third time this week at 8:15 a.m. Eastern on Thursday. The U.S. Central Bank will offer up to $75.
Now I just
YouTube,
see that.
Winstanzamom, billion of repos, temporarily buying securities from Wall Street dealers to inject liquidity into the system.
I just saw that hit live squawk. New York Fed takes 75 billion in repo op. Got the way the level 2 is messing with us. Zero Hedge hasn't tweeted about it yet. In fact, the last when I saw them this morning, they said, "Oh, it looks like the crunch is over."
YouTube, Winstanzamom, buying repos means the central bank is loaning dealers money in exchange for short-term securities.
Yes.
Do I have this right? The dealers can't unload the securities, except to the central bank.
It's not so much that the dealers can't unload the securities. I don't think that that's accurate. Wow, they ticked up 2 ticks there. That's a bit much. What happens is banks need a lot of money, right? And the reality is that the amount of money that they need to perform their operations that they have, say for instance, they're helping somebody acquire a company that day, okay, and it requires millions of dollars. They don't have that all in cash. So, but what they do have is they have assets. And so what they will do is they'll go out there and they will borrow the cash from somebody, and they will put their assets, like the treasuries that they have, up for collateral. All right. So what's happening is the amount of cash out there, there wasn't as many people out there with cash, and the people that had it were asking a ton for it. So what the Federal Reserve did is they basically went out there and they made more cash available so that the rate stayed down. That's why it's kind of like it's like a short-term thing that doesn't necessarily affect the larger market, like Powell said. But just the fact that there's not that there's a cash shortage out there is a little concerning. It kind of suggests that um, the Federal Reserve policy has been tighter than we realized. And they are putting more dollars out there. That's why it tends to be a little bit of an up. But at the
YouTube
moment,
Winstanzamom, thanks. That helps me understand better.
sure. At the moment, they're kind of ticking around like random.
YouTube Winstanzamom, shares of Target Corp TGT, minus 0.29% were indicated up nearly 4% in pre-market trading Thursday, after the discount retailer said it authorized a new $5 billion stock repurchase program. YouTube, wrong ZH, hi Seth. Grinning squinting face.
Hey, Ron, you're on time today. Well, roughly on time. Hmm. There seems to be something going on under the surface in the dollar. Well, I think that's about all I'm willing to let it go. Of course, they could hold that 17, but clearly my spot didn't turn into what I thought. One more bite here. So it's interesting here. There's 8.9 billion over the 75 billion. So the Fed put out 75 billion, but there was 8.9 billion more that people wanted and didn't get filled. Technically an uptrend pullback bull steepener. Well, I do see a little bit of a steepener. And then my
YouTube,
headphones are
wrong
being weird.
ZH. If my VPN make it through, I am always here on time, but my YouTube it's just keeps loading.
Oh, that's really weird. Well, but like I said, I've been hearing lots of reports of people from in China having trouble with their VPNs. So seems to me like the Philly Fed number was good and did push us down, but um they seem to not care. Like the uptrend resumed, so it was like they care more about something else. I still can't get my freaking my chat window to show up, guys. I'm sorry. I hope that nobody cares about that.
YouTube, J constant Bitcoin bear trap? BTC bullish?
I don't know. I was just noticing that Bitcoin really fell through today, didn't it? Um, I suspect. I mean, it happened late in the night, kind of that Asian opening drive. So it could just be them upset about what happened in the FOMC. But I've been saying that the chart does not look good. So I'm not surprised that they probed 10,000 again.
YouTube, wrong ZH. How was your last month of trading? What have you learned? Did you adjust something?
So, well, on the Bitcoin thing, for me to know if it's a trap, I mean, the thing is because it's like one group of people controlling it. We're gonna have to watch the social media and see what they say. I mean, are people actually out there concerned about this? We'll go and see. As for the last month of trading, I'd say it's generally been okay, but what I'm learning is that there are some situations where the reads that I get out of this become extremely unreliable. And so um, managing the risk is really important. And the win rate is still 50-50, so you've got to be careful about, like today I took 2 trades here and last 2 ticks overall. But then you add the commissions on top of that, like the commissions kill. So that's kind of what I'm looking at right now. Is to do this live, I'm gonna have to be a little bit less cavalier. Why is it doing this? Mm-mm. See, I don't see a whole lot of. Nobody's saying anything about this Bitcoin thing. Over 150 million in longs liquidated on BitMEX. So it was another one of them exchange sort of things. Yeah, there's the stats. Mm. See, last time we went below 10K, there was like a lot of fun. I'm not necessarily seeing that today. But it's early in the morning, you know?
YouTube, J Constant. I know a guy from Bitfinex team and he is long now. Ha 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 lol.
Maybe. I mean, again, the problem is that it's like this small group of whales.
YouTube, wrong ZH. Really cool impressive.
Yeah, it's like this small group of whales controlling the price. So it just kind of depends. If that was just another
YouTube, J
liquidation,
Constant. Seriously, by the way.
I mean, if that was just another liquidation of, exchange positions, essentially, then they probably would move it back up, right? I'm not so sure that that's like an amazing trade or anything. That was a pretty aggressive downtick there.
YouTube, Gary Rich. SOFR dropped back down from the spike.
Yes. But they still did the repo this morning and it was still oversubscribed. Yeah, I don't know what that was. That was kind of weird. The E-mini moving around there and Treasuries moving wild. I am seeing news coming out of the Brexit, UK asking EU to delay decision on backstop until end of transition period in December 2020, but still grant UK a deal for leaving the EU on the 31st of October. It's an absolute non-starter in Brussels. It's like they haven't been listening for the last year. Yeah, of course. It's not that they haven't been listening for the last year. It's that they're hopelessly optimistic that they'll give in because for the UK that's like the only option. It's a little frustrating to watch this because it's like the EU keeps giving them something that like they're never going to take. I don't know if that's on purpose. Kind of weird. Okay, so a little bit of back and forth at 18 now. A hawkish cut, traders' sleepless nights dominated by indecision and confusion. New story on Zero Hedge.
YouTube, Gary Rich. When Lagarde comes in, she'll come up some creative ways to monetize.
I shouldn't have pulled up Reddit because I can see
YouTube,
that I have
Greg Orlovsky.
messages.
WH Economic Advisor Kudlow. Can't separate security. IP theft from China deal.
Yep. Thank you, Larry. Thank you, Larry. He's talking on CNBC right now. Is that or on TV right now? Mm.
YouTube, Gary Rich, China funding issues duh.
Hmm. Less than a year ago, Bitfinex's volumes were 100K Bitcoin per day. Today, it is less than 3K. 97% decline. Remember when the PDCF accepted stocks as collateral during the financial crisis? Are we headed there? 5 year showing some pushing. I feel like this action is a little random. Maybe they're trying to push to a new high, but like all that down and now back up 4 ticks, and it's just weird. Man, I just don't feel. I went to bed pretty early, so I feel like I got plenty of
YouTube,
sleep.
Greg Orlovsky, ZB moving around on thin volume.
But I just did not feel so hot today. I think it's because I spent all day trying to fix that car, and then I came home and I probably didn't eat on schedule. And okay, like they're looking like they're gonna tick higher, right? Now, Greg has a good point that the ZB, a lot of these ticks up and down don't have a lot of volume on the last tick that they made.
YouTube, Ace Trades, morning.
Good morning, Ace. And what's more is the E-minis moving up. So that kind of suggests to me that they're still in a, hey, maybe there will be easy money sort of a thing. Except for that could be a little, what do I want to say, rosy. Like they might be misreading some things, because the repo thing still might not be a big deal. I mean, like the rate stayed within range. It might be fine tomorrow. Might not even have to do it next week. And I'm not sure that I read over being oversubscribed as like that there's a problem. It just means that if the Fed makes it available, people are going to make use of it, I think. Could be wrong on that one, but um and Powell's comments yesterday about QE were pretty, that takes a lot of reading into that to make that like a huge deal.
YouTube, Greg Orlovsky, Kudlow, softening in mood as US-China officials meet.
Also, if it's cut, it must not be Kudlow because they're moving up,
YouTube, Gary Rich, Fed cuts equals cheaper financing for more buybacks good for equities.
Yeah. I mean, if both of these are going up, that's a clear suggestion that it's a quantitative easing type trade. But then, how far does it go? Can we buy 21? Not sure.
YouTube, J Constant, bottoms in the investment world don't end with 4-year lows, they end with 10 or 15-year lows, Jim Rogers.
Hmm.
YouTube, Algo Lover, GM winking face.
Good morning. Oh, I didn't go in and think, what would be his levels? Maybe 129.25 half in the 10-year? On the upside, at least.
YouTube, J Constant, I will tell you how to become rich. Close the doors. Be fearful when others are greedy. Be greedy when others are fearful, Warren Buffett.
Yeah, I've heard that quote before. I've heard that. Have you guys heard that quote before? That's a really good quote. I'm just messing with you, dude. Okay, now they're taking 20. But
YouTube, Algo Lover, hopefully all went well yesterday, thumbs up.
there was a lot of things about yesterday that I was a little upset about, but I still came out on top. Actually did really well in the end, but that was like sticking with it and just kept trading through that Federal Reserve stuff. But the level that she gave us, we watched it come up to it, and
YouTube, Wimmer Kevin, just tuned in. I am not a bond trader, so could you explain to me under which circumstances the bonds in the S&P move in the same direction and what does it mean then? I understood they should go the
I'll wait for the second half of this thing.
YouTube, Wimmer Kevin, other direction.
Right. So, anyways, Algo Lover gave us a level yesterday, and I watched it, and I was, based on the way that it came up to it and the stack and everything, I was pretty confident that they were going to break through it. And it was really slow, but they eventually did, and you got a really good long out of it. But, anyways, that's what I was going on about. It's like, where the level is, and then you can kind of make a read on it. And maybe I just got lucky on the read. I don't know. So, Wimmer, Kevin. Why is it Wimmer Kevin? It's Kevin. So, Kevin, the main gist of it is this. If the Federal Reserve is going to pump money into the system, that makes both bonds and equities move up together. Okay? So what does this mean exactly? It means that the Federal Reserve is out there buying treasuries. And I think in some cases they actually buy stocks too, right? But the gist is that when we talk about injecting liquidity in the system, part of it means that the Federal Reserve is going to print dollars and go out and buy stuff.
YouTube, Algo Lover, ZN just broke a similar level just now at 129, 190 thumbs up.
Oh, really? Was that 90, huh? 190, that's a little... Well, but that makes it a little harder because we had that news push us down and then we pushed back up and made a new high. I don't know. This is tough to... I mean, certainly we would have to buy it at this point, right? But finding the right spot is probably going to be hard. Anyways, if the Fed is being easy, buy all the things. That's the rule of thumb, right? If everything is moving up, it's
YouTube,
probably
Ace Trades,
the Fed.
I'm getting a short signal at 3013.75, but the energy is up.
Gotcha. 1375. The energy is certainly up. They had a pretty good up move here. In fact, above the opening range.
YouTube algo lover, don't care why it happened, it did. You can wait on a pullback to enter OK hand.
Yeah, I think so. I guess the reason why I was being cautious about it is that what they're going to do is if there is a pullback and you go long, they're probably not going to give you a whole lot of opportunity to get into it.
YouTube algo lover 8:38 a.m. algo lover s if buyers hold their bid above 2991.50 ONL then 3021 target if 2991.50 breaks before that target trades then anticipate deeper pullback nerd face.
Hmm. I don't know if that helps me make my choice here. I am seeing something in the E-mini that tells me that there could be a turn here. Did you decide to take it, Ace, or did you hold off on it? Peter's going short at 28. U.S. federal funds rate 2.25 versus 2.3 prior. Let me double check my
YouTube
currencies here.
ace trades I'm trying to get filled at 3013.25.
To go short? I certainly see the short. Oh no, you're trying to get 13.25. You must be trying to get long.
YouTube ace trades we'll see how it goes going to leave the computer wish me well.
Go short. It's an acceptable.
YouTube Wimmer Kevin big absorption on 13.00 though. Approximately 800 contracts the last 3 minutes and couldn't get the bid.
Yeah, I can kind of see on my profile here this 898. But there's also a lot at the 1314 as well. There's a garbage. Did I put the garbage out? Yes, I did. It's interesting. Peter's taking it short here. I see some signs that the treasuries are pushing. Nope. Not the way we would have liked that to turn out, huh? Okay. Hope you're happy, Mr. E-Mini guy.
YouTube algo lover question: if a MKT trades to new highs, there is no profile. What does a profile trader have to lean on? Thinking face, no answer needed, but
Well, usually you would go to previous levels, right? I mean, there's plenty of levels to be looking at when you start looking back into. Okay, so now I'm seeing that I need to take one here. Unfortunate that that didn't work out in the E-Mini, but could still do it. Might just, go up, stop me out, and then move down.
YouTube Uzi Knesset previous daily and weekly levels. In ZB 6027 as last week's POC. That's why we farting around here.
Hmm. Okay.
YouTube algo lover HAGD. Thumbs up.
Thank you. That was a down tick. Okay. So they did tick down. Nobody traded into 19.5. There was 1434 were required on the way back up. Goes off again. That time somebody traded it almost immediately.
YouTube Uzi Knesset if 6027 finds support, upside target at 6106 person shrugging.
Gotcha. Well, I think that the daily trend is still up, right? Even though I'm short here. So we should keep an eye out on another flip somewhere.
YouTube Uzi Knesset uptrend, downtrend, doesn't matter. If your target's small enough you can do whatever grinning squinting face.
That's a good point. Although in the 10-year, that target would have to be like 2 ticks. Back into 20, huh? So when they pulled the 20, they were getting orders going into it. Federal Reserve added a third dose of liquidity to a vital core of the funding markets Thursday, helping rates retreat further as investors warned that fresh bouts of stress remain possible in the weeks ahead. Hmm. They're still being kind of quiet. I think I've got myself stuck in one of these places where I feel like something should be happening, but they don't really have a strong reason to be putting capital at risk. Because they're not. The level two is equal a lot. You get a lot of dancing. It seems to take a lot to convince orders to come in. You can see there, for instance, at 20, that they didn't actually go offer and stacked back up to almost 1,000. Okay, that time they went offer and back up. See, that could just be robots. When they're stacking 400 and they're going back and forth, that's potentially robots. Kanye West, number one earner for the first time in his career. How did he earn so much money? Beep bop beep. Only 353 to uptick, then ticks the other way.
YouTube, Greg Orlovsky, ZB shorted 28 scalped out.
So you got 28 and then already pulled something out of it, huh? That is not one that I want to deal with. I need to sit on my hands here for a bit. I took a short. I got 2 ticks max
YouTube,
out of it.
Greg Orlovsky, 2 ticks on 3L.
That was the trade. The trade worked out and it came back on me. Now they might do the level break here. But I can't really take that trade because it's not a very good probability after such churn. What's the probability that they break out? It's really 50-50. I haven't tracked it for a while, but well, now that they're back up here, the 5 and the 30 are pushing again. I wonder if that's because though that they want them to sell it. I don't know. Or rather they want the new high.
YouTube, Greg Orlovsky, 930 EST, may be needed.
You lost a point on that, Ace? I did end up taking it, and yeah, I got out.
YouTube, Uzi Knesset, nice scalp at Greg Orlovsky, thumbs up.
I think I read that right, but you know, I would have had to have taken 2. Did I ever get 3? No, I only got 2. Could have taken 2. Now it's doing it again. The context makes me a little bit less confident. I suspect that they're going to try and push the high again.
YouTube, Greg Orlovsky, at Uzi Knesset, thank you. Hated doing it when you stated the POC grinning face with big eyes.
That's a good point, too. But I guess that should have been a warning to us that we would maybe only get 2 ticks out of it, right? They're probably going to want to build a decent amount of volume here at 21.
YouTube, Uzi Knesset, lol, I know, my gut wants to go long but it's such a crummy spot, lol.
Secretary of State Pompeo says it's abundantly clear and there's enormous consensus in region that Iran conducted the attacks.
YouTube, M. Gerard, net up 36 cents in pre-market, guys. INMD is up 23 cents.
And now another spike down. How many times have we seen that today and then it ended up being nothing? They can finally do it. So here's something about Iran, since that headline came up. Here's something about the whole Iran thing that really bothers me. All right, you ready for this? Who was it? They said there was Houthi rebels claimed responsibility for the attacks, right? Everybody's like, it's not really Iran. When I read it on the internet, I see this. Everybody's like, well, we don't really believe Iran or the United States.
YouTube, Uzi Knesset, there's still room for that 27 to fail though. It's early and we still got the 930.
I'm seeing all these commenters saying, well, we can't really trust Saudi Arabia or the United States. And I'm thinking, or you're a Russian, because we know that those people are out there, and certainly on like world news, that certainly could be the thing. But then who did it then? Because if we believe the Houthi rebels, they're an Iran-backed proxy anyways. So if it really is Iran claiming responsibility, technically, isn't it? You know, and that's what bothers me about that story. Because the only way, here's the thing, the only way that it wasn't Iran at this point, as far as I'm concerned, is if Saudi Arabia did it to themselves, which would be dumb. Like, why would you permanently harm your own facilities?
YouTube, IQ, who is benefiting?
Who is benefiting? Not Saudi Arabia, I'll tell you that much. So here's another argument that I hear. Oh, Saudi Arabia attacked their own facilities to raise the price of oil so that they will make more money. Complete nonsense. Guys, a producer does not make more money from higher prices if they are producing less.
YouTube, IQ, it like the USA bombing the Houthis.
It's like the USA bombing. Okay, yeah, the prices are higher, but you're selling less of it. So you don't make more money. So all of these people that are out there saying the Saudis did it and they benefit from this are full of shit. Sorry, pardon my French. Technical term. They are full of shit. It's nonsense.
YouTube, Gary Rich, Iran flew these drones from Iran and crashed them into the facility.
Yeah, I think that's what happened, right? Well, the problem is who actually did it, right? Because it probably wasn't the Iran National
YouTube, Ace
Army.
Trades, it's good to hear you reject at least one conspiracy theory.
I reject almost all of the conspiracy theories, don't I? So what's a conspiracy theory that I have promoted? We've discussed conspiracy theories, but what's the conspiracy theory that I said I believe? Cockapoo-poo. I tell you, something that really bothers me, and this was happening to me yesterday. It's actually happening to me on both sides on Reddit this past 24 hours. But when people come in
YouTube ace trades, great. Now you call me on my crap, lol.
There you go. They're still getting some weird action here up at the top. Maybe they eventually do fall out. I don't know. Okay, so something that really irks me is when I'm going in the thread and I state a piece of fact, and then somebody says, well, no, you just believe that because you're a partisan. No, I believe that because that's the facts. All right?
YouTube M. Gerard, net up 46 cents in pre-market at this point.
So, what was it on the left? Oh, the thing that was on the left was they were saying, oh, Kavanaugh is a rapist. And I'm like, there's no evidence of that. Well, you're just saying that because you're a partisan Republican. The same people that supported Roy Moore. Okay. I have a video here on my YouTube channel where I said, hey, like, I'm not necessarily a supporter of Roy Moore, and I think there's a really good chance
YouTube,
that he's
Gary
going
Rich,
to lose.
Saudi do not have the technology to detect drones in the airspace.
Because he's a hebephile. I don't know if he did anything illegal, but he met his wife when she was really young, and that's kind of creepy, and I just don't want that kind of person to be one of my elected officials. Personally, I would rather avoid it. Okay? So I have that on here, and they say, well, you're just a partisan. No, I don't convict people in the public sphere without evidence. It's that simple, right? So then I get it on the other side. I go to the Donald subreddit, okay? And this one I think is really funny because they were having a let's hate on Social Security thread, okay? So you got to understand with the Donald Trump online movement that a very good portion of that base that really created the posters that made that subreddit
IQ, shit, they paid
popular.
big bucks for Patriot systems supposed to detect this shit.
You'd think so, right? A big portion of those guys are like Ron Paul fans. So they don't actually agree with Donald Trump on anything, actually. And so they hate the Federal Reserve and they hate Social Security and they want to completely get rid of Social Security. Even though Donald Trump has said on multiple occasions that he doesn't want to get rid of Social Security, he just wants to fix it. He wants to save Social Security, right? So they're having this hate thread on Social Security, and I'm like, you know what, guys? You are so full of crap, okay? If you were getting that money from that you're paying into Social Security right now, you would not invest it, okay? You millennials, I'm being accusatory, and I know that kind of like when I use the word you, people kind of like turn off, but you millennials, you're not going to save it. Don't give me that crap. You don't save the free money that you have now. You would rather spend it on coffee. All right? And if you did save it, you wouldn't save it in something safe, right? Which is what that Social Security money is supposed to be. You wouldn't invest it into a pension, which is what you're supposed to do, right? We don't have to invest in pensions because we have Social Security. But if we didn't have Social Security, you probably should invest it in a pension fund. So when they go out and they say, well, you don't get a very good return on Social Security, it's like, well, you're not supposed to. That's supposed to be safe money, you Nimrod. But then the thing that triggered me was they were like, and it's leading our country into bankruptcy. No, it's not. Social Security is 100% funded right now. 75% of the funds from Social Security come from the taxes. The other quarter of it comes from the Social Security Trust Fund, which, as of right now, completely funds Social Security. Social Security, Medicare, all of these entitlement programs are not contributing 1 cent to the deficit in the current year. Now, in 2037, the trust fund will run out, and then they will have a problem. So they're going to have to change Social Security at some point. But it's only like a 2.83% shortfall. Okay, so there are a lot of things that you can do to change it and save it. Donald Trump hasn't been specific about what those things are, but that's what he said he wants to do is he wants to save it. So here you have this subreddit. It's supposed to be a Donald Trump subreddit. They don't even understand what Donald Trump's actual policy is on Social Security. Super irks me. And then they have the audacity to come in and be like, well, you're just chilling, or no, I just understand what I'm talking about. So sue me. Now on this, back to the Saudi Arabia thing.
YouTube, Ace Trades, cash opening in 2.
On this Saudi Arabia thing, Saudi do not have technology to detect drones in the airspace. So I'm not an expert on this area, but this was one thing that I heard. Okay, the drones were low flying, so the drones and the missiles flew very very close to the surface, and because of that, they were below the level at which radar would detect it. So I think that the reason why the um, countries are having a really hard time figuring out precisely where things originated from and everything is because the Iranians actually uh, got through their security measures, right? So you were saying they have like, don't they have all of these
YouTube,
things?
Uzi Knesset, as a millennial, I spent my retirement on avocados.
Well, avocados are a decent investment. I'm kind of mad that short at 20.5 ended up taking me -1, and then they finally went. I'm not necessarily getting a long signal here, though. I'm getting the pre-E-mini push. No, so I think that the problem is that Iran was able to get past the security systems, and the United States and Saudi Arabia don't want to outright admit that, is what I think is going on. So, and because of that, it's hard to determine exactly. Otherwise, they would say, well, look, we can see here on radar it was shot from this location, which is in Iran, and that's when we look at the satellite, we can see what's there. But apparently, they can't do that, so they're trying to track it in other ways. Now, maybe they have ways to do that, right? Maybe they have satellites on Iran 24/7, and they see literally everything that happens there, and they were able to search and see the rockets launch. Okay. But then you can't tell everybody that, right? Because then you would have to admit.
YouTube, Gary Rich, Saudi only
There you
has
go.
radar to detect aircraft, not accurate drones detection.
There you go. Sixth Fleet based in Bahrain, most sophisticated technology, no peep from them yet. Well, but anyways, the thing is that they may have the intelligence to conclusively prove where it came from, but in order to prove that to us, they would have to admit to having technology that they don't want to publicly admit to, right? So the government could totally know and would just not be able to prove it publicly. You get what I mean? And I thought it was interesting to me was that the Saudis were like, well, we have proof of who it was. And then they wait 2 days. And then what do? They show us the wreckage. And I'm like, that's it? Like, that's the best that you have? So the gears start, then the conspiracy
YouTube,
theory
Gary
gears
Rich,
start
it's been
turning,
known
right?
how vulnerable the Saudi refineries were for many years.
Now it's like, well, maybe they thought that they were going to be able to present certain other intelligence, but then the intelligence community said no, or, what was going on? Why did it take 2 days? It's kind of interesting, right? Well, there you go. There's the downturn. I had it, but I didn't have it. 20.5. It was up and around there quite a bit, so probably not sure I could have just taken that.
YouTube, IQ, they had proof on Kasagi 2 lol.
Right. Kasagi is an interesting one to me because this is where I start to get into like be very careful about what you believe on the internet. Okay? Because their governments are very clearly trying to influence people's perceptions on things. So Kasagi, as far as I can tell, was totally in I was like an Iranian intelligence asset. Like it was like a propaganda outlet for them. Doesn't mean that they should have killed him, for sure, but why do you think everybody cares so much? It's because Iran is trying to weaken the United States and Saudi Arabia. That's the only reason that anybody cared. You don't think that people are unjustly killed by governments all the time? Happens all the time, folks. You never hear about it. You only heard about this one because it benefited one country for everybody to know. So it's hard because you want to know stuff about it. You want to be able to say, right, as a trader, okay, what is the probability that there is a war with Iran? And should I buy treasuries based on that? That was a little bit of an aggressive hold there. And the answer, unfortunately, as far as I can tell, is that
YouTube
we don't
Ace
have enough
Trades
information.
Jason Bourne we will never forget.
Jason Bourne, we will never forget. What the government did to Mr. Bourne. Unconscionable. Government had these kinds of programs going on. Can you believe, guys? I'm tempted to sell 17.5 like I still want to sell it, but I know better. In fact.
YouTube, Gary Rich. Everyone plans for a ground attack. Now drones have become the new preferred method of possibilities.
Well, I mean, the drones are air attacks. I would hope that countries are preparing for air attacks, but it's, it's a little... People in the West, everyday Americans, I think are kind of a little bit surprised to realize that, hey, Iran has this kind of technology too now. It's a scary thought, isn't it? That another country could...
YouTube, Ace Trades, drones 2019, they can't stop us all.
Yeah. But I don't think that people realize how available this technology is, Like, the scary thing is that a lot of the technology, I mean, a drone itself, just the technology to just make a basic drone is not that complicated. Now, of course, the US government has all sorts of crazy innovations that they can stick on top of.
YouTube, Ace Trades, it's hard to imagine that they have a drone operator who has no toilet paper, but can operate a drone.
Where do you get the no toilet paper? I know that was a joke, but where...
YouTube, Uzi Knesset, lol.
They're having trouble at 18.5. I'm getting into this maybe you only get 2 out of it thing again. Here's some iceberging. It's quite insistent. 30 years
YouTube,
clearly
wrong
seems
ZH.
to say
Hey
something.
Uzi waving hand.
We'll see. We'll see if it does anything. No, so I would like to make quadricopters. I have other things that I want to do first.
YouTube, Uzi Knesset. Hey wrong waving hand.
I got this monitor setup, which is awesome. Part of the monitor setup was I wanted to make a video and brag about it, but I need to get a stand.
YouTube,
first.
wrong ZH. God, I can't watch the stream. I am just reading comments.
And Wrong is probably like, what the heck are they talking about? Oh, I'm so sorry, Wrong. Well, you'll be able to watch it on replay, though, and you'll be laughing your head off, man. Anyways, so I've been watching drone videos on and off on YouTube, and the United States government...
YouTube, Gary Rich. No toilet paper needed in the desert.
Oh, okay, I gotcha. Is that why they wear it on their heads? Was that the joke? That's a racist joke. You should be ashamed of yourself if that's what you meant. Anyways, the U.S. government puts a lot of money into promoting hobby drones, like quadricopters. And so they have like these quadricopter conventions,
YouTube, Uzi Knesset, Uflal.
and the US government will go there and show off some of their drones. So like you get this drone and it's like it's super fast but they're super loud. Oh my gosh, those are things that can be so loud and annoying. Okay, the U.S. government has one that's like this, like literally this big. It's a drone. It's literally this big. It looks like a little stealth helicopter, and it is completely silent. It is completely silent. You would never know it was there. Like there could literally be a drone flying behind me, and I wouldn't know it was there, right? And that's the stuff that they're willing to
YouTube,
show the
Hail and
public.
Flourish. The US has that little green micro helo.
Yep. Yeah, it's like a little micro helo. It must be talking about the same thing. Yeah, and one of them is like $60,000. That's right. Which is like
YouTube,
what?
wrong ZH. I didn't get the joke, Ace. Can you explain?
Now he's gonna have to admit to making a bad joke, is I think what's gonna happen here, folks. uh, well, they're still having trouble taking that 18.5 and holding it. There was a big iceberg there, but they went offer. They've been offer for a little bit. E-mini's kind of going all over the place. Maybe I should be just looking for twos. I don't know, guys. AT&T is not considering a direct sale of DirecTV. That's unfortunate. Man, and then downtick without without any fanfare. Although it has been relatively higher.
YouTube, wrong ZH. I think I get it now. Grinning, squinting face.
Check out Warthog Defense on YouTube. Awesome stuff coming, really. Yeah, I would really like to get into it. But I want to take care of a couple of other things first.
YouTube, Ace Trades at wrong ZH. Just that they are so backwards, don't have modern conveniences like toilets and toilet paper, but have dumped money into drone tech.
Right. Well, that's true. I mean, that's so one of the unfortunate thing about a lot of these troubled spots in the world is they've spent so much money on military and they don't do anything for their people. I mean, I suppose the United States spends a lot on defense too, but come on. People in the United States aren't necessarily starving. I know that there's been some studies out recently about the percentage of Americans under the poverty level is really high and everything, but it's actually like it's a historic low. So there's some bias in some of that stuff. Okay. So they were struggling a little bit, and then
YouTube,
somebody
Matthew
stuck
Corbin.
13
Could
up
someone
there.
recommend a product to trade around 7 p.m. London time or even 5 a.m. London time? Unfortunately, I work a 9 to 5.
Okay, so 19 p.m. GMT to EST. That's 3 p.m. Okay, so you should probably be looking at the Asian markets, Matthew. I don't know exactly. I think around 7 o'clock actually is when the Asian markets open. And those are now available. You can get them through AMP Futures and all of the other major brokers. So that's where I would probably look. You could also trade, super early. But or just use the company internet and hide it. If you don't have a firewall and it doesn't block it, doesn't block the data, why not? I think so. Okay, they got another uptick.
YouTube, Hail and Flourish. Haha.
Ethereum. So did Ethereum take a dive with the whole Bitcoin thing? I'm too lazy to go and look up a chart. I mean, this particular dump in Bitcoin, I would need to go like so much further out to really show it. That dump in Bitcoin it's interesting, right? Because we know that it's manipulated, but the technical chart looks so negative. It looks so negative. But then you're like, it doesn't matter because all that matters is what's the whale going to do next. And they pumped up Ethereum. I kind of suspected when Ethereum was moving up yesterday that something was going to happen, but I just didn't know what. Oh, Bitcoins. But I'm not seeing people panicking. That's the thing. The last time that we were below 10K, there was a lot of people in the crypto sphere like spreading around fear. They were like, "Oh, this is
YouTube
awful."
Ace Trades looking at a long signal at 3017.50.
Oh yeah. Oh, I see it. I'm gonna take it, Ace.
YouTube Matthew Corbin, M Stella and Ripple moving up was a giveaway of manipulation.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's a good point, Corbin. You'll notice that it's like always the same ones that get pumped, right? It's usually it's Ripple, Ethereum, and Litecoin. Of course, not this time with Litecoin because the Litecoin has basically been exposed when they showed that their core developers weren't doing squat. Okay. So there's quite a bit of volume here at 17 in the E-mini. So we might have been able to place that a little bit better. The treasuries haven't busted out here. We might get to buy all of the things again. Wouldn't that be fun? Also note that the E-mini has been moving higher against cumulative delta. So that can give you a difficult trade in the E-mini sometimes. Okay. 18 went off again. Are we going to zipper here? That would be frustrating. Seeing the 5-year trying to push. Hmm. Well, you can kind of see the back and forth in the E-mini, but I can't really tell if one side has an advantage or not. It feels quiet. Oof. All right, well, that's 2 losers in the E-mini. I think I'm
YouTube
done on
Ace
that one.
Trades garbage, that was a bust. Sorry.
Yeah, it's fine. It took, I did what it was supposed to do, right? Look at it. Here it was right here. There was a peak, came back down, increased activity. We take it for a reversal. Didn't work out. It's okay. It's probably just in noise mode right now. Plus, there is a lot of sell volume in it, so I'm a little surprised though, just the daily action. Like we got a good Philly Fed index number, right? So that should make us move a bit.
YouTube, Greg Orlovsky, Credit Suisse will charge rich clients for Swiss franc deposits. Screw them, I'm getting a big safety deposit box.
Hmm. Um. Also, we had the Federal Reserve meeting yesterday, which sometimes after the Federal Reserve, you get turbulent days. But today, the action has been a little slow, hasn't it? They're moving
YouTube,
okay.
Alan Lamas, you don't do pairs trade between ZF, ZN or ZN, ZB?
Elaine, I've experimented with that a little bit, but I I didn't dive too deep into that because I felt like I was just better at trading them outright. So, I don't know. Maybe it's something I should look at. The other thing is that my commissions are just too high to really do the pair trading like that. I would probably have to hold them for a really long time. And I'm really looking for like minimal risk short trades. So hmm. He thinks the seller is trying a little too hard there. Why did the 5-year not reset?
YouTube, Alan Lamas, yeah I get you, I use Thinkorswim, I put up the pairs on there and the charts look good, but yeah commissions are a killer.
You do it on Thinkorswim. So IQ also uses Thinkorswim. And I used to use it, and I didn't because I thought that the commissions were too high, and it just wasn't like geared towards futures. But IQ showed me the other day the commissions, and they were actually quite competitive. I was like, But I do prefer my platform better than Thinkorswim now. But it would be nice to be able to do options on futures, right? Because we've made some calls on longer term price action that have been pretty good, right? We have an okay feel for when it's flipped. And if we were able to hold those for a couple of days and have minimal risk on through an option.
YouTube, Alan Lamas, Trade of 8 has $0 commissions but it cost $199 a month, just pay the exchange fee.
Yeah, but when you do the math out on that one, it kind of comes out close to the same for me, unfortunately. You can do the same thing with AMP futures. They have like a month. They have like you have to pay for the whole year, but you pay for the whole year and then you only pay the exchange fees. If I was trading like 3 contracts, then I think I would do that. But right now it doesn't make sense. And right now I switch between sim and today I'm not. Well, I take that back. I lost $20 today.
YouTube, Gary Rich, Seth, do you trade the options on the bond futures?
No, I've never messed with it. I've traded options before, but I stopped trading options because I felt that there wasn't a good sim platform, so it was like what you were doing was not, it was hard to learn to determine if what you were doing was actually working, and to actually trade it live was a lot more money than I was willing to risk. So that's kind of what drew me towards futures. Plus, I feel that I understand better the macro implications. Um, you know, I would rather sit here and watch order flow than spend all day doing, pricing options and trying to find an edge
YouTube,
in that.
Alan Lamas, oh okay, yeah I am looking to do that. I'm doing pairs trade right now between MES and M2K on AMP futures, their margins are only 65 for both contracts. Doing 2 MES for 1 M2K.
Which one is the 2K?
YouTube, M Gerard, net down 60 cents, good chance to buy before it goes back up.
Is that the Russell? No, I don't know what
YouTube, Alon
It
Llamas,
is
it's
the
the mini
Russell.
Russell.
Okay. Doing a spread on that now, that's interesting. And do you have a lot of data? Like, can you tell me like your win rate and your risk to reward and that sort of information?
YouTube, Alon Llamas, micro.
Yeah, I caught that with the M in front of it that you were talking micro futures. Hmm.
YouTube, Algo Lover, so, ZN did offer you a pullback thumbs up.
Sure did. And it offered us a buy signal too. A pretty good buy signal. Except for that it's just not going. I'm getting impatient with it, but I don't see the you need to get out, so I'm just kind of trying to distract myself.
YouTube, Gary Rich, you have a good understanding of the bonds. Selling options you would be good at as well.
You think so? There are maybe some things about the way that I work that options would maybe be a thing. When I was playing with the options the most, I was actually the way that I was doing it was so I traded it like directly on Thinkorswim for a while, but then I was working at Goldman Sachs. For some reason, I could get the data through the network with Thinkorswim, which was kind of weird. But it was like you don't send data outside, so I was terrified to like actually send SIB trades with the thing. So I would keep track of everything on a spreadsheet, and I would do options trades and kept track of it, and I tended to do pretty well. But I was never sure if the price that I was sticking in there was actually realistic. I was getting like a 50%. I don't know. I don't remember. It probably wasn't a 50% win rate because most of the. Oh, shit. What? You know what? I don't believe you. Yeah.
YouTube, Algo Lover,
That's what I
S traded
thought.
4 ticks shy of 3021 target thinking face.
Spoofs. That guy has been around since about.
YouTube, Algo Lover, ZN actually, thought they'd come in lil deeper thinking face.
So what do you think? You think that offer that showed up there at 18.5 and shoved us back down was a spoof looking to get long? He didn't stay there for very long, did he? And it's always hilarious if something like that happens and then it just sits here.
YouTube, Greg Orlovsky, Trump's National Security Council set to meet Friday, NYT.
That's okay. It's almost the top of the hour. That was super interesting. I mean, if an order shows up like that and pushes us down, and then they never go back up to it, then can you really go and complain about it to the SEC? But I have to say that's not
YouTube,
supposed to
Uzi
happen.
Knesset, 18 as yesterday's VAH in ZB. Careful if the bottom falls out of it.
Mm-hmm. Well, we're at a level that should be, I don't know. Oh, it did. They did hit into it. Oh no, wait, I didn't. I'm misreading that. 18.5 was where it was. I thought for a second there that I had already hit it and that 18.5 was a take profit order, but it's not. That's my if they hit into it again. The 30-year went a little bit lower there. What were we talking about before all of that? Options? Oh, yeah. Anyways, the gist of it is that I would do it on paper and I thought that I was doing okay at it, but I don't actually know how accurate the prices that I were putting into the spreadsheet were. So then I always felt like um, putting it in a spreadsheet that maybe you put in a number that wasn't right, and I think I had a higher win rate than I would probably actually get because I was winning like
YouTube
55%
Algo
of the
Lover
time.
monitoring a hold above 129, 145 for continuation. If that were to break, then reevaluate. Thumbs up.
Hmm. I'm having this problem today. Oh, okay. Weird. Child opened the door and then decided to not actually come in. Why are we pulling? We have news. CV leading index and existing home sales. Looking for a reading of spot 1% on the leading index and the home sales a reading of 5.39 million. I'm surprised that they're pulling for this the way that they are. It looks a little disjointed. Probably not all of the algorithms see it as a pull. Some of these prices are still 1,000, which is like, okay. Okay. So there the news went. Existing home sales was
YouTube
slightly
Gary
better
Rich
than
as a
expected.
depot TM and time I harvest premium.
5.49 million versus 5.39 million, and the leading index 0 versus spot 1. Not a huge reaction. I see liquidity coming back a little bit. They are ticking down against me now. It's really frustrating. All of the trades that I've had today, I think I've had 2 favorable ticks, and then that's all I got. And it's just been a lot slower than you would have expected for a Thursday after FOMC.
YouTube Swissio Seth tomorrow there is triple witching. Tomorrow is party in the markets.
Oh, that could be part of it. Could be part of it. Maybe they're just bracketed.
YouTube Algo Lover CL face with rolling eyes.
What did CL do? Oh, down, down, down. Ugly, ugly, ugly. You know that all of those guys trading oil, like, I don't know. For me, we have an event like that over the weekend and we move up. I'm thinking, okay, we should be
YouTube
careful.
Ace Trades yeah, I'm frustrated as well. Also, I switched to sim after my 2 losses, but then accidentally didn't, so lost again for real.
Oh, really? I'm sorry, dude. It's okay. I caught a $50 winner yesterday.
YouTube Algo Lover
So
reminder CL if sellers hold this bounce below 60.00, then 56.25 target. If 60.00 goes bid before trading down, then anticipate squeeze higher nerd face.
all right. 56.25 they touched. Well, so anyways, if I was trading oil, I would be like, you got to be careful here because you don't
YouTube
know.
Ace Trades it's going to push back up to around 3020, then drop to 3010.50.
Anytime you got a gap, you got to realize. Anytime that you get a gap, you got to realize that there's a chance that it's going to revert, right? And everybody's like, well, it's on and the oil's just going to keep going up and up and up and up. And you know that all those retail guys bought it and lost money on it coming back. You just know that's what happened, right? It looks like a massacre over there in oil lately. Of course, there's probably going to be a few people that did go short and make bank.
YouTube, Gary Rich, CL looks to trade back to 55 next week.
Could do. Well, if we can take 17 half bid again, then I would say we can hold it. Come on. I would say that we held that selling pretty well. Oh, that's 16 in ZB. Alligator pointing out that it touched 16. Okay, 15, 16 hit into 18, but they didn't tick up. So somebody still wants it to sell, huh?
YouTube, Luis Alarid, pattern traders traded a nice intraday double top on the CL.
Oh, really? So you think that there was a couple of people that saw a short, huh?
YouTube, IQ, oops 16.
Oops, 16. Always shenanigans at 16 in ZB. I don't think a day goes by that we
YouTube,
don't see
Algo
that
Lover,
price.
at Gary Rich, CL if buyers fail to defend 57.50, then agreed thumbs up.
That's what we should do, is we should make a histogram of did the price trade that day? So if it didn't trade that day, then it's going to be a little bit less. And I bet you that 16 trades almost every day. You can make a distribution profile of that. Just if it touches it once in that day. We could probably do that analysis. Next time we have a free day, remind me, and we'll write that one.
YouTube, Luis Alarid, got in early on the S, got out early, still some cash.
Good deal. The ES has been tricksy, hasn't it? So Ace even tried going long, but we tried going long, didn't we? Our second trade was a long, right? Yep, it took a short. Took a short and lost, and took a long and lost. And on both of those, I never actually got much in the way of favorable ticks either.
YouTube, IQ, yup.
Mm. And this is just incredibly frustrating.
YouTube, Gary Rich, at Algo if next week reports see another build, we see 55 handles.
I'm also frustrated. I had plus 3 ticks on this before that big sell order came in. And then it just disappeared, Like, it's just a spoofer. Doesn't mean anything. They might have been trying to buy it. Probably got filled on the 18 and 17 half. If the algos ever decide to hold a price, good grief. They're not even getting a lot of flow for all of their screwing around. Is it still complaining about not connecting to Journalytics? Yeah. Journalytics is unhappy. They're probably having server issues again. Well, now they're hitting 18, and there's an iceberg there, thanks. Uptick. Ooh, pull at 18.5.
YouTube, Algo Lover, at Gary Rich OK hand 57.50 only level holding MKT up here, so until it goes.
Okay.
YouTube, Gary Rich, at Algo Agree.
Oh, oil. Getting a few orders in there, but I didn't get triggered at 18.5.
YouTube, Luis Alarid, 3026 Target S.
Okay, they decided to tick it down. Test lower, maybe. Ugh. There was an iceberg at 18, but it wasn't a huge one or anything. Now they're going to play this game at 17.
YouTube, Algo Lover, Seth, if they hold bid above that 129, 145, then 129, 240 target above, as mentioned, if 129, 145 breaks first then reevaluate OK hand.
I still remember that. But to me, it's like, if they touch 14.5, I don't want to be long right now, right? That's way further than I'm willing to put risk on. But they're starting to do the chop thing in this area. They just went down 3 ticks and now they just went up 3 ticks. Without any backwash into 17. You see how there's a blank price there at 17 and there's a little gap on my chart? Both directions. It's like, okay, fine, Seth, we'll fill that little gap on your chart for you.
YouTube, Algo Lover, call but that's the levels to watch OK hand.
Yeah. So it's frustrating because I'm seeing signals over here. I see here's a long, here's a long, here's a long, here's a long. It's giving us longs, but it's not turning. And then you look at the 10-year. It's not really technically giving us anything. So then I'm trying to get an idea of what's going on from watching the order flow. And that's not necessarily telling me anything. Some buying came in here, but they didn't go and take out the key spots from where that big offer came in and all that. See, and when they do tick up and down, they're really dramatic about it, but then sometimes it's like, oh, no big deal. We'll tick back up. That's crappy action. It may yet reverse. It's just they might wait 30 minutes or whatever. And by the way, I should stop at 8:20. I should probably get rid of this thing because I don't want to. If I do start to get some run up there, I'm probably gonna have to take a profit because I am talking to somebody at 8:30. They are,
YouTube, algo lover, think about this, they'll break a level going up, then come back to stop out some breakout buyers, then hold a level and go bid again, rinse, repeat, thumbs up.
yeah, which may have been what happened there when they pushed it down. I find that whole thing that happened at 18.5 suspicious, right? That to me is somebody that's going to get a call from the SEC at some point. I know you're out there. Someday we'll get our revenge.
YouTube, Gary Rich, Seth, do the auctions monthly offer any usage?
The auctions monthly offer any usage. I don't quite understand what you mean. If you're just talking about the Treasury auctions, there are trades specific to the auctions for sure. It's been almost 45 minutes now.
YouTube, algo lover, it happens all day, every day, that's why I attempt to post the levels of interest. Okay, hand.
Yeah. Okay. E-mini looking happy about that new high there.
YouTube, algo lover, S trades 3021 target, thumbs up.
Wow. I actually have a good number of people listening today. And I don't know if that's because you're all bored from the market being so
YouTube,
churny.
algo lover, gotta run, HAGD.
Hey,
Thumbs up.
later, algo lover. I don't know if it's because it's so churny and you're all bored, or if the whole discussion earlier about toilet paper was funny. Not mutually exclusive theories, I guess. Hmm. It would be one thing if I saw some sort of a clear, like, okay, they clearly want to sell, so maybe I should try taking a short. No, they're just like not doing anything here for some reason. Well, that was an easy uptick at 17.5.
YouTube, Gary Rich, these slow grids are like counting grains of sand, LOL.
Right. Well, and the other problem is that when it starts ticking like this, you start reading into every teeny little thing. So you start to get this idea in your head that, like, oh, there's something big's going on. They're going to move up and they're going to go and make a new high and it's going to be big. And then I look back at being in this trade and I'm like, maybe
YouTube, Luis
because
Alarid, I see 27 on the ZN soon.
maybe they push back up, but I'm not sure it's worth all of the grief, you know? Well, we'll give it one more time. We are in that like reversal time period, so. And really, the real trade was the short up at the top, wasn't it? But I didn't really get a clear sell signal on that one, so. I know. What I need to do is I need to buy 17. If I bought 17, then they would
YouTube,
go,
IQ, perfect stop for reversal in ZB.
oh, he's trying to catch that one tick range between 17 and 17 and a half. That means we need to flush it down against him. And then that would make it move, right? Peter tried to get 13. Did Note there was a slight increase in activity there in the 10-year.
YouTube, IQ, 10 last swing low ZB.
We're now below the opening range in bonds, are we? No. Opening range high was way back at 10.
Twitch, plaid_princess, I'm way too stupid for this stream, hahaha.
I don't know. I would not say that, Plaid Princess. The key skill
YouTube,
is
Luis Alarid, I bought the wrong interment, don't you hate that, wanted the S still bullish.
the key skill here is humility. To recognize when you're wrong and when it's worth it and when it's not. Something that I'm not
YouTube,
terribly
Algo
great
Lover,
at.
before I go, ideally, buyers hold the market above 3016.50 from here, target 3023.50, if not, then anticipate a deeper pullback, nerd face.
16, then 3023. Yeah. I could see that one. Anyways, I mean, I know that it looks like it's a lot of numbers, but it's actually pretty simple. The way that it works is
YouTube, Gary Rich, my chair is so comfy I may fall asleep. We need action, lol.
Right here. Okay, hold on. Let me hold that so I can, so I can make sure that she understands. Basically, you get as many numbers on the DOM as possible, and then when the numbers look really excited and one of them looks really pretty, you click on it. That's it. That's the basic gist of it. Just doesn't happen to be working too well today because they're not getting very excited about anything. Well, that right there is my you were wrong, Seth. It's not gonna kill it because what's it called? It's having issues, I think. US Canadians learn nothing about this stuff. No, US nobody does. Listen, what we're doing is like super hyper niche. Like we get like a dozen, 2 dozen viewers a day, and that is like the retail market. Shit. There you go. They might even push the 14.5. I kind of think, like, I'm just looking at this today. So this was all on Sims, so don't freak out, all right? Um, but I where would I should I have maybe around here? What time was this? This was oops, that's not what I wanted to do. Okay, 7:09, top of the hour. Even at the top of the hour, we were kind of saying that it was kind of being difficult. So maybe I should have stopped there. But we're trying to collect stats, so I try and keep it. So today, obviously, it didn't work very well. Doesn't wipe out. I mean, we're still ahead from what we made yesterday, and we're still way ahead for the week. Let's see here. After today, the gross is still 500. 500? 400. 400. 400. 394. Hey, thank you for coming in. Well, there's something at 15.5. There's a big offer there. I shouldn't have held that as long as I did, knowing that big order had come in and everything. That's another thing. Is like, I had a long there. It something contradicted it. Why did I hold that? I don't know. Blind hope. That was kind of a silly mistake, wasn't it? Because if I had taken that one short, if I had sold it, remember I was like, well, crap. And then I had it there and they said, no, I don't believe you. Now I should have sold it. Okay, well, I have got to get going, guys. So I will talk to you tomorrow. Maybe we'll have a better day. Next week could be interesting. I don't know. We'll see. I think I still got some things to iron out about this, though. Because I get days like this quite frequently, and I'm not. I just keep feeling like I could deal with it, but I just always do the wrong thing for some reason. But it can be beaten. I mean, we could have gone short, right? So, anyways, see you tomorrow. In the meantime, stay profitable, friends.